File number 004. Status declassified. This is the most expensive aircraft ever built. Not the most expensive program, the most expensive single plane, $2 billion each. And the United States built exactly 21 of them. Here's the strange part. It wasn't supposed to cost that much. The original plan was 132 of them. The reason each one ended up costing $2 billion is a lesson in what happens when you build too few of something. Here's what's actually inside the file. The B-2 Spirit is a stealth bomber built by Northrop, now Northrop Grumman, and it looks like nothing else in the sky. No tail, no vertical surfaces, just a single smooth flying wing. That shape isn't for looks, it's the entire point. The B-2 was designed in extreme secrecy in the 1980s to do one thing: fly deep into Soviet airspace, past the most advanced radar on Earth, without being seen. On radar, this 50-meter-wide aircraft reportedly appears about the size of a small bird. It achieves that through a combination of the tailless shape, edges all aligned to the same angles, an internal weapons bay so nothing hangs off it, and a special radar-absorbent coating over the whole surface. It carries 40,000 pounds of ordnance. It has an unrefueled range of over 6,000 nautical miles, and with refueling it can reach essentially anywhere on Earth. One of its navigation systems even tracks the stars, like an astronaut's sextant, so it can find its target with no GPS signal at all, immune to jamming. By any engineering measure, it was a generation ahead of its time. But here's where the story turns, and it's the same lesson as the carrier in the last file. The program started in 1981. The plan was 132 bombers. The enormous cost of inventing all that stealth technology, the research, the tooling, the testing, was going to be spread across all 132. Then the Cold War ended. The Soviet Union collapsed. The entire reason for a bomber designed to penetrate Soviet air defenses suddenly looked a lot less urgent. And Congress did the math. The order was cut from 132 to 75, and finally to just 21. But here's the thing about that decision. The development cost, over $20 billion to invent the technology, didn't shrink. It was already spent. So instead of being divided across 132 aircraft, that same enormous bill was now divided across 21. That's how you get a $2 billion airplane. Not because the metal costs $2 billion. The total program came to about $44.7 billion for 21 aircraft. And buying it was only the beginning. Keeping a B-2 in the air might be the most demanding maintenance job in all of military aviation. That stealth coating, the thing that makes it invisible, is extremely sensitive. Small damage, even moisture, can change the aircraft's radar signature. So after nearly every flight, it needs hands-on work to restore the stealth surface. By some estimates, the B-2 needs 50 to 60 hours of maintenance for every single hour it flies. It can't even be parked outside like a normal aircraft. Its coating is too sensitive. It has to live in special climate-controlled hangars, and only a handful of bases on Earth have them. That's why each flight hour costs somewhere between $135,000 and $200,000. And each aircraft costs around $30 million a year just to operate. Now here's the part that reframes the whole story. The Air Force learned the lesson. The single most expensive mistake of the B-2 program wasn't the technology. It was building too few to ever spread the cost. So its replacement, the B-21 Raider, was designed from the start around the opposite principle. The Air Force committed to at least 100 of them, possibly 150 or more, specifically so the development cost gets divided across a large fleet, not a tiny one. The B-21 is projected to cost a fraction of the B-2 per aircraft, not because it's less advanced, but because they're building enough of them for the math to work. The B-2 didn't just give the U.S. a stealth bomber, it gave the Air Force a permanent $2 billion lesson in why scale matters. Now here's where Analyst BB7 has a theory. And to be clear, this is speculation, not confirmed fact. The official story is clean. The Cold War ended, the threat disappeared, so Congress sensibly cut the order. And the sky-high per-unit cost is just the unfortunate math of dividing fixed costs by a small number. All true. But here's what I keep turning over. There were dozens of classified deficiencies in this aircraft, design issues that to this day remain redacted from public view. We're told the B-2 is a triumph of engineering. We're also told quietly that there are problems with it that the public still isn't allowed to see, decades later. So the question I can't shake is this. When a program is this secret, this expensive, and this politically sensitive, how would we ever actually know if it underperformed? The same secrecy that protects it from enemies also protects it from scrutiny. I can't prove anything is being hidden. But we can't tell you it's classified is a very convenient answer to a $2 billion question, and it's the part the official story never has to address. File closed, for now. 19 of the 21 are still flying today, and they'll keep flying until the B-21 fully replaces them, probably in the 2030s. The B-2 remains the only stealth bomber that ever entered service in the world, for now. It's an extraordinary machine. It's also the single most expensive aircraft ever built, and a permanent reminder that in defense, what you pay per unit depends entirely on how many units you're willing to buy. Next file, not one weapon, a number. The trillions of dollars the Pentagon has failed, year after year, to actually account for. Subscribe before it's declassified.